Hello from Dubai. This is the Pigeon of Peace, where we do discuss the interesting skills of the troubleshooters. Watch, listen, and check for description to get the list of the questions. Let's speak about metaverse and let's start with the definition.
Metaverse, this is a universe which created artificially and it exists constantly. So it's like a game. You could enter it anytime and you will find that life in this universe doesn't stop when you sleep or when you making something in real life. For example, you grow trees and you will be able to harvest apples. Maybe you build roads and you give your workers or constructors some orders and they will continue to do this. Maybe you will able to even grow your family or to do something with preparation of food. You could invite people from real life and they have their avatars and you will meet them, greet them, and you will know that those people are exactly you expected. By the way, about avatars, avatar is also the part of metaverse. You could create your image. You could be familiar to Maxim Golub, or you could slightly change your face or your hair or your clothes by your wish. But it would be great if you will use the same image all the time. In this case, you will be found by other people, not just attractable, but also known. They could talk to you, they could greet. Yes, for sure, if you, for example, wish to be assassin or to make some like spying job, in this case, yes, you could make another clothes or choose another style of behavior, or even choose to live in some cave or under the root of the tree, but it's not usual. If you will do this, maybe you will be even banned from the metaverse.
And before we speak about some of the details and the aspects of the metaverse, I actually was wondering whether it's like a first time when this, like a virtual universe appeared, because like even in the sci-fi books or movies, there already were like attempts or concepts or theories of the place where a human can go and distinguish themselves as someone else, or maybe even not in the sci-fi, but like in the real world, like whether we already had something that could be distantly similar to what we have now with the metaverse.
To be honest, there are several approaches to the metaverse have been done before our times. Let's speak about Second Life. It was a game which was conducted, I don't know, maybe even 15 years ago. And in this game, recently I found that there were some shops like Adidas, like Levi's jeans, and some other. So you could buy hamburgers, you could drink cola, you could make tattoos on your avatar, and so on. If you will think about other games like Half-Life, like Duke Nukem, like, for example, Dota or Counter-Strike, you will also find something very familiar with metaverse. Yes, it's another kind of streets and another kind of mission you have, but anyway, it also could be compared. In metaverse, in our understanding, you should live as normal life. You could do everything you want, you could meet your friends, you could make parties and so on. But for example, in Counter-Strike, you should take your squad to the goal to kill enemies and to I don't know, capture the base.
And when we look into the maybe like a social aspect of the metaverse, probably it may seem, again, like depending on the usage, it may be seen as the escapism, like when people actually trying to avoid their real life. So what might be, like the comment on this point of view, because sometimes people actually may not be finding the fulfillment in their life, might be not finding the relationships or like maybe even the business aspects that they may found in the metaverse. So what are the pros and cons into diving or like embedding yourself into the virtual world?
Let's go from the zero, from the scratch to the metaverse step by step. First, we were playing like text games, and you will see the only one line with blinking cursor, and it will ask you, do you want to go right or left? And then you will press something like L or R buttons, and then you will have another question. And it was very astonishing. It was like to be Neo. Do you remember this Follow the White Rabbit in the movie? Second way, it was when it's appeared to be email. Before you should write paper letter and go to the post office to throw it in post box and then wait for, I don't know, like 1 week, and you will get a response. You will open this envelope, you will even feel maybe some perfumes from this paper if you will writing with girl, or maybe with your mom or your grandma. Then we have ICQ, and it was completely a revolution. You could write anytime to anybody, and you will be receiving short messages in very fast mode. Then we have Skype, and when you're doing the very first call to your relatives which are living in another country, it's completely another experience. Suddenly you see their faces. They could show you how they live. They could show furniture and what is on the table. Even you could make toasts with them. But after this, you would not make it very often. Like 30 minutes, it's enough to dive in the life of another people. But metaverse, it's completely another way. You will not be in another place just in this metaverse. For example, you're starting to build your home, so you dig something to make a basement, and it will take you some time, and you will be occupied or busy for weeks. Then you will build walls, then roof, then you will buy furniture, then you will go to find your friends and so on. And you always have not a mission which is given by the game, but mission which you give you by yourself. And this is self-controlling game, but you live it like in another kingdom, like in dreams. And sometimes even in dreams you will be in your metaverse.
And when it comes to this probably thin border between, probably playing games or like living someone else's life, or maybe, like actually doing some sort of like a business within the metaverse, like how exactly it could be balanced, or maybe should not be balanced at all with the real world, because at a certain point of time, we'll be going back. And again, like it really depends how well we spend our time, whether it was like really any benefit to that. So how you think it might be like governed, how you think it might be like handled even on the personal level in order to go there and then going back?
You know, Maxim, it's very pity to say, but metaverse is for poor people. If you have success in your real life, you will never play in metaverse, because you could produce goods, you could sell goods, you could have meetings, you could go to vacation, you would drive your fancy car in real life. You will kiss the girl, you will swim in the pool. And in this case, you have no time for such unusual time spending. But if you are unhappy with your job, if you're unhappy with your boss, if you're unhappy with your salary, you want to hide somewhere. And the metaverse, it's a really good place to stay. For example, you could be mayor of the city there, or sheriff, or maybe you could be like, I don't know, someone who paints or who make musical shows. So all or everything in real life will be acceptable by people who live in this life. But people who are very tired and they won't just lay on the chair, they will come to houses, they will put on virtual glasses, and they will just slightly move mouse and live in another world, which would be called metaverse.
And if you actually will take a step forward and think how, like it may look in the future. So probably, I don't know, you mentioned this movie Matrix. So probably there might be times when people won't be only having like, I don't know, the glasses or mouse or whatever, but it will be like a specific capsule where they step in and they get all of the, sensations and the feelings, meaning that it's almost like 100% emulation of the reality. So even for the food or like all of the other processes that happening in the body, it's also will be taken care of. So basically what the one needs to do is to just, like step into the camera, and then they can just will be a captain of the spaceship, like invading the space or whatever. And all they need to do for their life, maybe they will be like a streamers, like they can stream what they do, or maybe they can be like an office worker in the spaceship station or anything like that. So how soon this thing could happen, and whether it will be taking place in reality, or we just like even not in the halfway there?
You know, it's a good question. When we were developing some games, especially Duke Nukem 3D, we were thinking maybe it's time to make monetization. For example, we could hire people which would clean the streets and they would have some money to buy food and so on. But suddenly our customer deny all this our request and says, come on, people, let's play just usual game. World do not ready to this improvement. But I think that you're right. You know, right now Disney has developed a special floor. On this floor you could move in any direction without any supportive devices. Some games already have been using kinematics or also some slippery floor you could run, but to stay on the spot. Also, there are some gloves, and also some other costumes which could be used. But by the way, these costumes were developed for pilots, for military pilots. When you are flying on super jets, you will be flying over 2,400 kilometers. It's so-called 2 Mach. So to stay alive, you should be using inflatable costume, which would compensate this pressure which will done by gravity. Also, there are a lot of invention. With help of them, you could feel some flavor on your mouth. There are several electrodes and you will be feeling like you are tasting something. Okay, there are also some devices to have a smell like pine tree, like fresh bread, like vanilla, like coffee, like roasted meat, and so on. But anyway, this is not enough because this is a very poor library of emotions. So we still should wait until it happen to be much pleasant to use. For example, if you use Google's or some other devices on your face, you feel yourself not comfortable. By the way, if it will run out of the energy, you also will be seeing that your meta universe will be switched off, so you will have like a blinking, and this is not comfortable. So we need something like, I don't know how to say this, glass lenses, and in this lens you will be seeing like augmented reality, and this is much better. By the way, this also will give you some ability in real life. For example, when I was to Jerusalem, I have been meeting with guys, and they created bionic slings which could zoom in and zoom out things, and you are able to see, for example, legs of the mosquito, or you could see, for example, something which are very far away.
And then my last question will be how knowing about metaverse would help to make this world a better place.
There are just one things which will help us to make this world better. Maybe some murders and maybe some psycho and some other tyrants will lead their hunting and something else in metaverse. Better to have electronic corpse than the real ones. Second, maybe we will know a lot about behavior of the people. You know, it's very pity to read those articles which is written by economists, and they are saying that all people are trying to be rational. This is not true. And maybe this metaverse will show us that sometimes we want to buy something which will be not in use, but we want just to show to everyone that we could afford it. And third, maybe our cities will become less populated and we will lay in special capsules. And you told me before, you know, some people do not understand why subway stations and subway roads are supported by the cities. But the reason is to free space to fancy cars. So if we will be in metaverse, another people will enjoy in real life.
And we discussed the skill of metaverse and how it could help in your life. Thank you and stay in peace.